Welcome to All right. Welcome to the Gallen Bros podcast, where we discuss movies, pop culture, and other stuff. We are the Gallen Brothers. I'm Zach. With me are my brothers, Timothy.
Hey.
And Steven.
That's me.
All right, and today we're going to be chatting Halloween and Nightmare Before Christmas and a few other things in that arena and other stuff. So yeah, all right. Well, let's hop into it. Nightmare Before Christmas, worst film ever. Am I right, guys?
Oh my god, it was so short and terrible.
Oh, jeez. Losers couldn't make longer than 80 minutes of stop motion.
You worked for 3 years on that, and that's all you came up with?
Way to go, Tim Burton. Who was the director, by the way?
So I hear.
Yeah. He did not direct it for our listeners at home.
No, spoiler alert. Mm-hmm. For those of you who may have been living under a rock for the last 20-some years, The Nightmare Before Christmas, or as it was marketed at the time, Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas, takes place in this land of old where all the holidays that we know were all relegated to their own little towns inside trees in this mysterious forest.
Inside trees. Yeah, I don't know. That's what they. That's the exposition. Right.
Yep. And our main character is Jack Skellington, who is the Pumpkin King, which is not the same as the mayor of Halloweentown. It's more maybe of a symbolic title. Mm-hmm. But anyway,
like the Queen of England.
Yeah,
sure.
Right?
Maybe that's a little more symbolic.
I suppose
don't know. So. But Jack gets a little. He's a little sad and depressed because he's doing the same thing over and over again. He gets a little bummed out and just kind of tired of the same old routine year after year, scaring people on Halloween. And so he wanders off away from Halloweentown, and he stumbles onto the mystic holiday forest and finds a tree with a tree with a Christmas tree on it, and he stumbles into Christmas Town and becomes enamored with Christmas and basically decides to take over for Christmas that year, and all sorts of crazy, ghoulish shenanigans happen. So that's a very long-winded, drawn-out
synopsis.
Synopsis.
Bro.
Almost as long as the film.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so I guess initial reactions or just thoughts on. And I mean, we've seen this movie dozens of times, but I know personally I watched it recently. But Steve, what do you think? What were some just initial impressions of having watched it recently yourself, and just some maybe burning questions that came up, or just oddball things?
Yeah. Well, let's
oddball observation.
Steven's oddball observations. Yeah. Well, let's start with those weird tree doors.
Holiday trees.
Those holiday trees. Yeah, so I've always wondered where those are. Jack walks through the night and ends up there, but is that like an in-between place, between holiday worlds, or that was on the far ends of Halloweentown?
Yeah. Like could the people in Christmas Town do the same thing?
Right, like would he bump
into
yeah.
Yeah, but then
somebody else.
And he clearly left Halloweentown, but he didn't exit the tree with the jack-o'-lantern on it to get to the forest. He just wanders into the forest.
And you know what? Like, don't they open up the door and they fall down the tree? So like,
right, as if it's like some weird black hole or like the rabbit hole in Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah. Like a wormhole. Exactly. They're just kind of there. But then, how do you go back through the thing?
Through the crypts, apparently.
Yeah. Or exactly. Yeah, they don't. They just wander. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wander the forest.
That is funny. It's like, that's one thing that struck me too watching it recently. Was like, how's this universe structured here?
Layered and everything.
And two, it's the opening narration talks about it being long ago, eons ago, when dolphins roamed the earth.
Mm-hmm. Well, thanks for all the fish.
But then you. During the scenes where Jack is playing Santa Claus, he's shot down by heavy military artillery that seems fairly modern.
Right. Yeah.
Rockets and missiles coming at him, and the children and the humans that are getting the gifts seem to be fairly modernish, or at least in the last 20 years, but late 20th century. So it's like, well, how long ago was this really? And two, another thing I thought was kind of always odd about this was that clearly Santa knows about Halloween, because at the end he comes back and makes it snow and stuff. But Jack and Halloweentown people had never heard of Christmas before, and
Right.
Yeah.
and two, and again, going back to that world where you start delivering all the presents. It's like, where is this world? Is this, are the holidays the holiday towns all like separate in their own little
realm,
side universe?
Jupiter.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. How do they get to? Yeah. How do they get to Earth? Right. Yeah. And then,
How do they get to Earth?
how do they?
Maybe they're all just a bunch of aliens.
Halloween
and that's what
planet.
it is. Yeah. This
Or
holiday planet. Yeah.
Holiday Planet. That sounds like a horrible movie.
Yep. That Nicolas Cage and Will Smith would.
Nicolas Cage. We have to save the holidays.
These planets. It's like a Keanu Cage.
Keanu Cage.
Also sounds like a bad movie. But a
Yes.
movie I would see.
I'm your father. Whoa.
Whoa.
Wow. I know Kung Fu. All right.
I know. Weird. Yeah, I know. Super weird though. It's just like, yeah.
Right.
I mean, the movie is like, obviously, it's like the movie's super entertaining and great, but
Of course.
can't help
I
but
absolutely love
ask
it.
these
It's one of my
questions.
favorites as a kid and still to this day. But yeah, it's still one of those ones you watch and you can't help but have a million questions about it. You're like, what? Why is that the way it is?
Yeah, and I think that's partly why it's such a. I mean, all good stories, I think, kind of give you that. You kind of want more
Of course.
backstory, or
And really, it doesn't give you any more than you really need either. Even if it does leave you asking questions of, like, hey, what about this or what about that, or yeah,
And
where
what's the
are these
deal
holiday?
with-
Where is this holiday forest?
Yeah, and what's the deal with Oogie Boogie?
What is the deal with Oogie Boogie? He's not your traditional antagonist either, which is an interesting.
No.
It was another way of interesting way the film is kind of structured, because it's more of the real antagonist, more of an internal struggle with Jack. His lament of like, oh, I'm tired of the same old thing, and then he actually breaks out and tries something new, and then that kind of reinvigorates his spirit for what he's really good at, which is being the Pumpkin King. Whatever that really means, too. I don't. That's not very well explained. But Oogie Boogie, yeah.
it is
Like, is
neither well explained either. Yeah.
No, yeah. Is Oogie Boogie? He's on like this. He lives on the outskirts of town.
He's got his little yeah.
Well, and is
hovel
he
on the
like?
outskirts.
Can he get out of there? Is he
Yeah, is he trapped?
ostracized and locked in there? Is that just
Is he locked?
Right.
Yeah, trapped
Yeah.
in his gambling in his casino.
Yeah.
Casino cage.
Yeah.
And are
does he-
little crickets enough sustenance for him for an entire meal? Or like cricket bugs, or what was that ugly little thing that was dropped down there by Lock,
Shock and Barrel?
Lock, Shock and Barrel there?
I don't know.
Yeah. It's a giant bug. yeah.
Cricket-like thing, but
Bug.
That bug.
Oogie Boogie's a big guy. That's all I'm saying. He's a big
He is truly, they say you are what you eat. Oogie Boogie truly is
Oh,
what
he
he
eats
is.
all his bugs. That's right. Oh.
He's a
Hey yo.
bug-filled sack. Yep.
Yeah, but that is one thing I thought again that came. It didn't really strike me maybe in years past when obviously even when I was a kid watching the film, but watching it more recently in the last week, the pacing and everything and really quick, and it is really quick, and just the wanting more of the characters and story maybe a little more fleshed out, even though like we were just saying too, does it really need it? No, it's just something that I would have liked to see,
Yeah.
Just
Only
curious,
they
yeah.
took another 3 years to
Yes,
get longer.
took you 3 years to animate this. I'm not giving you any backstory. So, anyway, Zach, what do you think? What are some thoughts that struck you as you watched it recently, or whenever you watched it more recently?
The most recent that I
most recent time.
reviewing of Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah.
You're like, I'm watching it right now.
Yeah, like it's on my computer. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I've always the music's always been a favorite of mine.
Yes,
which I always loved.
Yeah. Absolutely love the music. Danny Elfman.
I know exactly. What else can you expect from him? Other than greatness. But yeah. Which I just always found so funny about Danny Elfman, though, is, I mean, they probably could have just given Danny Elfman the dialogue. I just think it's so funny that they're like, hey, how about
Sheridan,
so Danny, you're gonna Chris Sarandon,
Sarandon.
I know, and you're just like, I just found it so funny that they're like, oh yeah, let's find someone that sounds like Danny Elfman's singing voice, and I'm like, well, why don't you just let Danny Elfman do it then? I mean, if you're gonna be that particular about it, I was like, because at the end of the day, I don't think anyone would have really cared if his voice didn't sound similar. But I don't know.
I would have cared.
Yeah. It just reminds me of when he did like the Corpse Bride, for instance. I remember watching watching a featurette on that for one of the songs, and he was like, "Oh yeah, we auditioned, for about 2 weeks or a month straight, and just couldn't find the right person. So I laid down a track, and I just, it was gonna have to be me." I was like, "Get out of here, bro! You wanted to do it the whole time, man." I was like, "You just wasted everyone's time with these castings." I'm like, "Get out of here." But but the music was always a big favorite of mine. I mean, the movie, the movie's just so great. It's just got a lot going for it.
Yeah, another thing too that struck me, you talking about the music. In this most recent viewing of it, that the other day when I was watching it ahead of this, was that how truly classically musical it is, and meaning that like the songs move the narrative, move the plot forward, and I don't, that's not always the case with a lot of Disney musicals. I mean, there certainly are ones that do that, but I mean, like one number that came to mind was Be Our Guest from Beauty and the Beast. A lot of fun, cool set piece, but does it really move the plot forward? Not really. Not in my, not that I think. And
there's just a lot of servants in this castle who are now plates and cutlery.
That's right, and all the gray stuff, But it's delicious. But yeah, with The Nightmare Before Christmas, it was very classically put together like a Broadway musical, and I'm surprised too that all these years later that Disney hasn't actually turned it into a Broadway musical.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I don't know if I've mentioned this before in general to you guys, but so like at the Hollywood Bowl last year, they had a live performance of The Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah.
Awesome.
And I want to say that Danny Elfman was there to at least orchestrate the music, or Danny Elfman did another thing at the Hollywood Bowl.
He took over and sang
they cast somebody to sing and perform it, but
let me just do this.
They muted the mic, and Danny just took it away. Yeah, no, but I know they did something like that. I saw a couple like videos or previews on it. It looked like it'd be kind of fun and just a pretty typical like staging of it, almost like the shows at the Imperium Theater in California Adventure.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Where it is it's a professional staging of it, but it's not a $2.5 million Broadway staging of their interpretation of the show.
Sure. No, that sounds really coul. But yeah, I just, because thinking, right from the beginning with this is Halloween, just as a perfect opening number, establishing the world of the musical that you're getting into, and then Jack's lament at the beginning with establishing his character and his
conflict,
his conflict, and then even to Sally's solo and
Sally's song. Yeah.
Sally's song.
These incredibly titled numbers.
These
Yeah.
titled numbers.
Sally sings at this point. Song.
Yeah, good
Oh,
enough.
We need the main female character to sing here. Oh, okay. Sally's song.
here's Sally's song. Fantastic. This beautiful. Oh, okay. We hold
No need to
executives in
change it.
such high regard.
But hey, Sally is actually the only one with any sense in Halloweentown, it seems.
And she is
True.
brainless, right?
Yeah, she's made of leaves.
Just full of leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the message there?
Who knows?
That's what I'm saying. What's the message? Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah. But too, I just always was wondering too about her and the professor, and not in any like really nefarious or sexual way, but it's like why did this paraplegic professor guy with a big brain make a rag doll? Just because he was tired of making soup for himself, or
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, he made like bone reindeer, so it's like
bone reindeer.
Yeah, you'd think he could make a robot to serve him.
Well, but then he had that Igor character who just had the one line. You're like, where was he? Where was he? You couldn't make soup, Igor?
Yeah.
The plans.
The plans. That's what it was.
The plans. Thanks. Now make my soup,
Yeah.
but leave out the deadly
Rat poison or whatever.
whatever it was.
It was not essence of frog. That's what she used to cover up.
Well, there was frog breath to cover it
frog
up.
breath. That's what it was. Yeah.
Nightshade. Deadly nightshade.
Deadly
Nightshade.
nightshade.
Ah, yes.
But, hey, whatever.
Yeah, I'm not a paraplegic evil scientist, so
No, not at all.
couldn't tell you.
That's right.
Couldn't tell you.
So, anyway, what about Steve? What was maybe like one of your favorite song? Going back to the music, what was maybe one of your favorite musical numbers, or the maybe more than one, or just over the years that you've watched this movie?
Well, I think one of my favorites is Jack's Obsession. Another perfect title for the song.
What does it mean? What does it
What does it
mean?
mean? Yeah, just when he's trying to figure out Christmas, doing all his experiments and crushing ornaments into vials and
Interesting
questioning,
reaction.
What
does it mean?
Yeah,
But what does it mean? Yeah.
just a funny moment. But so I'd say that, and then all of it, I guess. Yeah, I think the ending with Jack and Sally's duet.
Oh yeah, the ending duet there. Yeah,
Right.
it's a really really sweet song. I love that shot too, where when they're singing and the snow is falling and they're on that weird like hill that curls in on itself.
Yeah,
The bridge.
It's almost
hill.
something out of Dr. Seuss.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah. Who's what's he? Yeah.
right out of the Lorax or something. A tree. What's a tree? What about you, Zach? What are some of your favorite music numbers?
Yeah, no, I'd have to agree with Steven. I like the last duet there, but I'm also partial to Jack's lament. Lament, yeah, the one in the but not the first one, the one in the cemetery after he crashes.
After he gets shot down.
Yeah, yeah, just because it's got such a great it's just kind of like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? This is really stupid. And then it's that point of like, well, wait a minute, he just needed that different outlet to realize,
hey, I'm the Pumpkin King.
yeah, he's how good he's got it. He's like, man, wait a minute, yeah, I ain't got nothing to complain about. Life is good.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And he's like, oh, wait, I can't wait till next Halloween. No.
Because I've got some new ideas that'll really make them scream. Yeah. And then he's like, uh-oh.
Yeah, but then he has enough sense to go, I made a mess. I gotta fix this.
Yeah, Santa Claus is going to be eaten to death.
Excuse me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's a great number. The one that always really gets in my head though is "Kidnap the Santa Claus" with Lock, Shock, and Barrel singing that. It's just some funny. It's just a funny little number in the movie, just with showing because it's basically the song that introduces them too, because they're characters that are introduced in the second act that you're like, who are these weird little kids
Children
wearing masks that look just like their faces, and then jumping in their tub to go kidnap Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Kidnap the Santa Claus. Lock him in
Which
a cage.
Korn, the band Korn, actually does a pretty
Oh yeah,
pretty cool version of that,
Their cover is pretty rocking.
Awesome.
That's right. Because wasn't there in general, wasn't there a Nightmare Before Christmas?
I think there was a
It's like metal or hard rock cover.
Yeah,
of
it
all the
was
numbers.
Nightmare Revisited. And so, just a
Yeah.
bunch of different,
Artists and stuff. So
artists.
Marilyn Manson did Halloween, right?
Halloween, right.
yeah, I'm sure
This is
Nine Inch
Halloween.
Nails did something.
Sure.
Like System of a Down did the Making Christmas or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That one was really great too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a great album. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
Worth
check that out.
listening to. People.
Check that out.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever albums are sold, whatever an album is.
Whatever those are.
Your nearest Tower Records.
Your nearest.
Your nearest record store.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Borders. Barnes and Noble. Excuse me.
Right.
Borders.
Yeah,
Borders, they're down. They're not down, man.
Long gone. My bad.
No, no. Apple Music, Spotify, whatever. Oh, funny. Yeah, the music great. I think
Music
what?
good. Me liking music.
Music really makes this movie. Yes.
Yeah. We understand. But yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas, man.
Quality.
Yeah. I
What
give
else?
it
What, Steve? Sorry.
5 pumpkins out of 5 pumpkins.
Whoa!
Pumpkins out of
Yeah.
5 pumpkins.
Your Halloween rating, huh?
Quality.
Yep, that's my Halloween rating.
Oh.
So I recommend it. 24.
Yeah, you know what? It really is like timeless. You know, some old movies. It's not even that old, really. But you watch them again, and you're like, man, that's really a product of the '80s, or what was I
Right.
thinking as a kid? That was terrible.
Oh yeah.
But the Nightmare Before Christmas has a real timelessness to it,
Yes.
even with its curious universe that it's set up, where it takes place long ago when holidays were relegated to trees.
That's how you make it timeless. You just confuse the time.
That's how you make it timeless.
Yes.
You just confuse people.
Throw just enough plot holes in there that they can't.
That's right. That's right.
Figure some things out.
You're clever, Tim Burton. Oh wait, you didn't direct it.
Nope. Henry Selick directed it.
Ah.
The director of Coraline.
Oh sure, of course. Another
Is-
fine stop motion.
Coraline Jones.
Good one. All right. Well, to wrap it up. Let's go around and everybody share their top, they're kind of their favorite moment or just scene or just something that always kind of makes you laugh or gets you every time when you watch the movie. Zach, what about you?
Me first,
You
huh?
start. Yeah, you first.
I always like the jazz band. I think is funny too. I just just
And one,
it's
and
just,
two.
yeah.
The guy in the bass.
The guy in the bass.
Yes, yeah.
It was modeled after Danny Elfman.
After Danny Elfman.
Oh,
That's right.
funny. Of course he was. Yeah. No, and then of course too when they bump into him after this is Halloween too. He's like, Bone Daddy.
Nice work.
Bone
Nice
Daddy.
work, Bone Daddy.
Bone Daddy. Uh-huh. Same.
And then I love
year
it,
after that.
the
year
next
before
morning. The next morning, and the mayor comes to Jack's house, and he's like,
Oh,
Jack,
yeah.
where are you? Where are you? And the band just keeps looking on, and they
Well,
finally tell him,
yeah, I
he's
know.
not home.
They just they're always witnesses to whatever, they're just.
Yes, yeah.
Never came
kind of
home
thing,
last night. Yeah.
But it's just funny. There's they clearly don't like the mayor. They just let him make an ass of himself as he's trying to, hey, Jack, where are you? Knocking on his door, ringing his doorbell. Oh, yeah, he's not here. Wait, thanks. You could have told me that before I tried ringing the bell 3 times.
Just an elected official.
I can't make
do all this.
decisions by myself. Too funny. Steve, what about you? What was like a moment that always stands out or always gets you?
Well, one of my favorite characters is the little fat boy
Yeah.
who apparently has no eyeballs, I think. Yeah, and and he's just like a carbon copy of his mother, and who, and just one of the funniest scenes is when he's at the beginning of Jack's obsession, where they're walking by and
Hope he
he's
hasn't died.
Hope he hasn't died. Yeah, and he's just like being led along on a leash.
Oh yeah, that's right. He has the leash. That's so funny.
Yeah,
So we take care of our children in Halloweentown.
What doesn't it? He has the line too when they think when Jack gets blown out of the sky, right?
yeah.
He's kind of like a Tiny Tim, right? He's like,
Yeah.
Right.
There goes Christmas.
Yeah.
It's Christmas. Yeah, and Jack puts him on the mayor's hat at the
Fat boy.
yeah. Yep. So he gets me every time. So it's,
Well done. Well done.
Yeah, the scene that always cracks me up is when Jack decides to he has his eureka moment and he decides to take over Christmas that year, and then he gives everybody their assignments, and he talks to Sally and he's like, Sally, I really need you to make my Santa Claus suit, and he gives her that picture of himself. The Pumpkin King has a self-portrait, and then when he's trying, so then the scene later when he's trying on the Santa Claus suit and he's in the red suit with the white fringe and everything, and he's got his long beard, and he's like, oh man, something's missing. I don't know quite what it is. And Sally's like, well, Jack, it's because you're the Pumpkin King. You're not Santa Claus. Da 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 da. And he's like, not anymore. And he takes the picture from her hands and just snaps it.
He crushes it. Yeah.
busts it
over his knee. It's just so funny. It's just such a very violent reaction to not anymore. That's not me. Just and it cracks me up every time. So, yeah. Well, what about the rest of you out there in listener land? What about you? What is your favorite moment from The Nightmare Before Christmas, or some questions that always crop up whenever you watch this holiday classic? Be sure to let us know by leaving your comments in the comment section on our YouTube page below below this video.
You know where the comment section.
In the comments. Comment in the comment section.
Yeah.
But when we come back, we will discuss some of our favorite horror/Halloween movies and discuss a little bit about how the difference thereof. So we'll be right back. Oh yeah, welcome back.
Slap in the bass. Yeah.
You're listening to the Gallen Brothers podcast, where we discuss movies, pop culture, and other stuff. Today we're talking about Halloween movies. We just finished up a conversation about The Nightmare Before Christmas. We recently rewatched it and kind of give our take on that classic film. But
that classic Halloween or Christmas film? Question mark.
Hey, you know what?
Comment below. Sorry.
Disneyland has it running at the Haunted Mansion from September through January, so I'd say it's probably a little bit of both, right?
Mm-hmm. And a Thanksgiving movie.
Yeah.
And
Not many of those.
Not at all. All right. But with that behind us, now we turn to talking a little more about Halloween specific movies, as well as horror movies that always tend to kind of get clumped in with Halloween, which rightfully so. They are in season usually in October, even though any time of year, I would argue, is a good time to see a fun, scary horror movie.
Scary movie, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Don't turn off the lights.
All right, so
actually,
lights off is what it was.
Right. Sure. Anyway, but too, as I was kind of doing some research, I was trying to think of some great Halloween movies to talk about, and I realized as I was looking for some that there's only a very, very small handful of movies that are specifically about Halloween or take place on or around Halloween. Everything else seems to just be, your classic scary movies, horror movies, which are all, like I said, all fun, all well and good, and I really love them. They're fun to watch. But Halloween-specific movies are few and far between. The ones I could find were other than the Halloween slasher films.
Yeah, it's like Halloween
Mike
1,
Myers,
Halloween 2.
Mike Myers, Halloween 1, 2, 3, 4, H2O, Halloween again. Mike Myers' Revenge was the one that immediately comes to mind whenever I think of Halloween movies is the classic 1993, 94?
93, yep,
93. Disney film Hocus Pocus, starring Sarah Jessica Parker and Bette Midler and some other
Kathy Najimy.
some other lady, Kathy Najimy.
Yeah.
Right.
Her.
Yeah, that other one. Yeah,
She played the other witch.
The other one. Yeah.
The one that rides the vacuum at the end.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Hocus Pocus about the three witches that are
The
brought
Sanderson
back
sisters.
on Halloween night in Salem, Massachusetts, or whatever. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I loved that movie as a kid. Certainly, it's a guilty pleasure still, even now as an adult.
Yeah,
20-some years later.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's really the one that really comes to mind when I think of Halloween movies. And then the only other one that I could find that was purely Halloweenish was Ernest Scared Stupid, that amazing classic of cinema, starring Jim Varney.
Good old Jim Varney.
Dim-witted Ernest
Rest
character.
in peace, Jim Varney.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't believe they released that in theaters, but they did in 1991.
In theaters,
Ernest
really?
Scared Stupid, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the first 5 Ernest movies apparently were released in theaters.
Oh, but not the other 35, huh?
No, then they eventually went to direct-to-video.
Direct video, yep. I know, yeah, I remember showing up at Blockbuster. Yes, this was Blockbuster when Blockbuster was still around.
What's Blockbuster?
Video?
It felt like every other week. It felt like every other week. And you're like, I never saw this one before. It's like Ernest, Ernest becomes a pilot, Ernest flight school, yeah. Ernest goes to
Ernest crashes a
NASCAR
plane.
driver, yeah. Ernest smokes weed for the first time.
Whoa.
Whoa, yeah. Now, I don't think that one made the show. That's just what I'm saying.
But so I don't know. What about you guys? What Halloween movies come to mind when around Halloween for you? Are there ones I'm missing? Obviously, I would imagine, but maybe not. Like I said, there's very few that I could find that were specifically about Halloween.
Yeah, that's about it. No, yeah. I just recently watched Hocus Pocus, and yeah, it's a fun one to put on while you're putting Halloween decorations up and stuff. And yeah, it's I think a pinnacle of truly Halloween about Halloween, movies and but so I watched that the other day, and then my wife and I did, and then she was
get yourself in the Halloween mood.
Into the mood for Halloween, yeah. And then, but she wanted to watch another scary, quote unquote, Halloween movie, I guess. And so,
wow. Wait, she doesn't normally like scary movies, right?
Not per se, yeah, not really.
Okay.
But, I did talk my wife into it too.
Well, yeah,
she
Nicole,
digs him now. She digs him.
Nicole does not. She always. I don't get to watch scary movies that often because Nicole, my wife, does not very much enjoy them. She has a very active imagination, so she's like, why do I need any other stimulation to make me even more, my imagination
keep
even
me
more
from
wild.
sleeping at night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she asked for it, and so I
asked for it.
I put on the Witch.
Oh man, The Witch is such a great one.
So good.
And so she hasn't been able to sleep since.
I don't blame her.
Yeah.
The Witch, man.
Very
It's such a great movie.
Unsettling, and yeah.
Steve, you want to give us a synopsis of The Witch for our listeners who maybe haven't seen it or heard of it? So it's a more recent one, right? Just
right. Yeah.
2015, I believe.
Yeah, basically it's about a family. They're Quakers, I guess, right?
Quakers, yep.
Yeah, and so it takes place in the 1600s.
Yeah.
early America,
Just colonialists.
yeah.
Yeah, colonial America.
Yeah, and they're, I guess, sort of excommunicated in a way from their settlement, right? And so they end up settling on a farm on the outskirts of the town and whatnot, and so they're on the edge of these woods and are trying to live out there. And it's a family of they have 5 children, an older daughter, and then a son, and then 2 creepy twins.
Creepy twins.
Wouldn't be
Creepy twins.
Wouldn't be a
Yes.
scary movie.
Wouldn't
without
be a scary
creepy,
movie without that. And then a little infant baby, and then essentially they encounter weird.
Well, the infant gets kidnapped,
Right, the infant
and that's
gets
kind of the
kidnapped,
inciting incident.
and that's kind of the incident that
there's something creepy. going on in the woods.
something creepy out in the woods, and it just gets crazier from there. So
Yeah.
Inexplicable in every waking moment.
Yeah, I love
essentially just tearing this family apart,
yes.
little by little.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
But yeah, oh man, I love The Witch. It's one of those scary movies that, like, in the best way, unlike a slasher movie, which, I mean, those can be friggin', yes, it would
Sure,
be
yeah,
crazy
you
scary
can
to be hunted down by a crazy killer with a butcher knife, but The Witch, I think, really captures that real raw primal fear of the unknown, and you're basically, this family's like all by themselves in this farm. They've been banished from the rest of their community, and I read, when it came out, I remember I read an article at the time that they talked about it really, never, regardless of the supernatural elements, which are still super creepy. I mean, the story is just brilliant, but the article was talking how The Witch really captured the emotion and the fear of just early Americans. You think of, like, what it took for people from Europe to leave well-established communities and places and civilization to go on a ship and take at least 3 months, if not more, with no guarantee of survival, across the ocean and to an unknown country where you literally have nobody. It's just like untamed forest and especially
wildlife
and wildlife, and yeah, so no wonder, and wouldn't think, no wonder that they would think that there's some supernatural elements or whatnot, creepy stuff going on in the forest or whatever. But yeah, just talking about how it really captured that not like the loneliness, but just the sheer, like, man,
at scale or kind of just the isolation.
The isolation. Thank you. That's the word I'm looking for. The isolation that you would feel of being an early settler. Because, like, we think of it, it's easy for us to read about history now, like, oh, the settlers and colonists came over, and then bing bang boom, America was born. but
a couple hundred years later.
Yeah, exactly. But how not thinking about how just that how isolated you would feel. You're thousands of miles from the land and country that and the people that you knew, and you gotta grow your own food, you gotta chop down trees, build your own house. It's just
your own house.
amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
so yeah. But the witch,
witches in the woods.
Yes, and there are witches in the woods. You gotta watch out for those too.
Yeah.
But
it really. I mean, it really is such a great.
Yeah, The Witch is a great movie. Again,
Roger Egers is the guy who directed it. New director too. He just, he went for full, like, immersion in that experience. I mean, that's, having. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I said, yeah. Weren't you telling me one time it's like the authenticity that he went with?
Well, yeah, because the dialogue, he took a lot of the dialogue from journals and stuff from that time frame, and pretty much just made sure that things were as accurate as I think they could get through. Probably save. I'm sure a few people would be like, oh, well, this wasn't accurate, blah 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 blah. But it's for the most part, like, the thing's pretty authentic.
Right.
You know, and put a lot of work into it. Because I even watched a little featurette that even historians were like, they're like, yeah, we enjoyed watching this because for the first time we didn't have to sit there and be like, nope, yeah, right, nope, wrong time, nope. You know, they're just like, well, damn. You know, yeah, that seems accurate, and this is creepy. You know,
They wouldn't say that word.
yeah, I was right. Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
Yeah, Apocalypto, we're looking at you.
Yeah, right.
Stupid movie.
But again, The Witch, yeah, super creepy movie. Great scary movie, great horror movie. Not traditionally Halloween movie, though.
No,
I suppose not. Yeah.
not as much as say Halloweentown,
Oh, the Disney
which is
Channel
about
classic.
What's Halloween?
wait for this,
You mean like from the Nightmare Before Christmas?
Halloween Town. No, it's a made for Disney movie. I think they've had like 2 or 3 after it.
Made for Disney? Made for
Yeah.
TV Disney movie?
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, it was made for Disney. All right,
Made for Disney?
Disney TV. Yeah, the Disney Channel, made for TV. Yeah, the Disney Channel. Yeah, they're probably running it right now.
They
as we speak.
basically took Nightmare Before Christmas and put it live action with just...
I made it boring and made the people
boring.
made the people normal, and you know, of course, something is amiss because there's in this Halloween town there's actually
always.
something evil happening, or I don't know.
There would be no drama without it, right?
Yep, exactly. Without a missness.
That's really funny.
Yeah. But other than that, I mean, Trick or Treat is another movie that comes to mind.
Oh yeah, I never saw that one.
Yeah, it's just a series of
It's a little
like
vignette.
vignettes that kind of intertwined a little bit. Had some creepy aspects, you know. I mean, it wasn't bad. You know, it's worth a good kind of, you know, just a fun little watch. But I mean, certainly not a masterpiece by any,
No,
I think, meaning of the term.
We're still waiting for that elusive masterpiece of Halloween cinema.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan's Halloween film. That's yet to be titled.
Yes.
His follow up to Dunkirk, I'm sure.
It would just be called Chris Nolan's Halloween. Christopher Nolan's Halloween.
Man, that'd be funny. No one knows what it's about.
No one knows what it's about. Not even Christopher Nolan. But it'll star all your favorite Christopher Nolan actors.
Yeah, be sure to find Cillian Murphy. Tom Hardy's going to be in there.
Michael
DiCaprio,
Caine.
maybe. If they got him. Michael Caine will absolutely be in there. Yeah,
That's right.
Christian Bale,
Perhaps Christian Bale.
likely. You know. Yeah.
Oh, that's really funny. You know, I never saw Dunkirk.
Oh, it's so good, dude. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I heard.
that is a one for another. Yeah, that's a movie for another discussion for sure.
Oh, sure. I'll have to certainly
hour
watch it before we talk about it. Otherwise, I'll just sit here and say nothing.
Yes, Christopher
Funny.
Nolan. He
All
directed
right,
Batman.
What other Halloween movies? I guess would you guys distinguish between Halloween and horror movies?
Well, I mean, yeah, I'd say Halloween's probably the only one that fits both categories, and then
True, that's a good.
and
point.
then you take something like Friday the 13th, which is not a Halloween movie, but like you said, it's in season, you know.
Especially this month, since we
horror
had Friday
movie,
the 13th in October.
Yep, yeah. Well, yeah, and then there's a bunch of like I don't know. I don't know. We could definitely get into a discussion about what differentiates a suspense thriller from a horror movie.
Oh,
You
sure.
know, like you know, because I think you'll get. I've overheard one too many people say The Sixth Sense is a scary movie, and I'm like, just because you jumped out of your seat at one moment in that film doesn't make it a traditional scary / horror.
Yeah,
film.
I would disagree with that. It's
with
it's just a suspense movie. I mean, it's a
Suspenseful,
good,
yeah,
it's a
no,
good one.
exactly.
The Sixth Sense is really good, but
That's what I'm saying.
I,
That's what I'm
wouldn't
saying.
call it a horror movie.
No, exactly. I would call it, horror. I would stick
Or a
with all
Halloween
the
movie.
yeah, no, right, yeah. I would stick with all the traditional scare films that, you know, like you said, the slasher genres, the found footage,
Oh, sure.
the monster movies, yeah.
Monsters.
Monster beware.
Monstrous.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
I think it's time
For the Gallen Bros top 3.
for the Gallen 3. Da-da-da.
Whoa. Beat you to it, Tim.
There we go.
Into it.
It's a little Star Trek-y.
/ Prometheus.
I don't know how we're gonna follow that. That was just,
I was just thinking that too. I was like, you know what? I was like, my three's gonna be pretty lame.
Epic musical intro for our just our silly little top 3 lists here.
Yeah. Kind of a little overkill, maybe.
But keeping with the theme, then.
Yeah.
This week on the Gallen 3, we're gonna share our top 3 in no particular order necessarily.
No particular.
They can be if you want them to, but 3 of our favorite or the top 3 horror or Halloween movies, and differentiate if you must. But Steve, what about you? You start us off here.
All right. Yeah, no particular order and no explanation why. I'm just gonna say my top 3. Sinister, which is pretty sinister.
You said no explanation why, Steve.
Whoops. Yeah, Sinister. Sinister, The Witch, and The Nightmare Before Christmas.
What are these? Your top horror movies or Halloween movies?
Oh, differentiate.
We have to do a set of both,
or just top season or whatever.
Yeah, I thought we discussed there were only 3 Halloween movies.
Keep it loose here.
Slash Halloween movies.
Well, all right. Good list.
Yeah, that's your 3. There it is. Yeah.
Good.
Sinister, The Witch, and what was the last one?
Nightmare Before
Nightmare Before Christmas. Excellent.
All
right, Zach, you're next.
I'm going to follow it up. All right. I'm going to go classic on this. And I'm going to say Puppet Master for one of them.
The Puppet Master.
Yeah.
Big and
I know
deep.
it's kind of a series, but we'll just stick with the first one just for the sake
I
of doing
haven't seen
so.
that. It's does it hold up? I haven't seen it in so long.
Oh, I'm betting not, because I watched Demonic Toys, for instance, probably a year ago.
Oh, another classic of 80s
which-
horror.
And David S. Goyer wrote that script. Okay, he wrote pretty much all of Christopher Nolan's Batman films,
Wow,
or at least
really?
had the story for it. Yeah,
Demonic
David S.
Toys?
Goyer wrote it.
Dang.
But you know what? He wrote it in 2 weeks, and you're like, yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Yeah, isn't that crazy? But yeah, 2 weeks.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, but that one was just, it didn't hold up. But still kind of fun to watch. But yeah, so Puppet Master, love watching Puppet Master. That's one of them. I'm more contemporary. I'm thinking, I love The Conjuring personally. I thought it was amazing.
The Conjuring.
I think James Wan is doing things right now with Jason Blum that has really revitalized everything in a great way. Like, I mean, I think horror movie now is I think they've done a good enough job to help people shut out all the like garbage kind of scary movies that have been seeping through. You know what I mean? That people are like, oh, did you see this one? I was like, no, because it sucks.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
The straight to Netflix fare.
Yeah, except that you watch, you're just like, come on, you know what I mean? Like, just give me a break. But anywho, yeah, okay, so boom, Puppet Master, then The Conjuring, and let's go Insidious. Why not? Because I loved Insidious too.
That's a good one too. The first two, I don't know if I saw the third one, but
Third one was surprisingly very creepy.
was it? But was it connected to the first two? I loved how the first two the sequel started exactly where the first one ended. I just thought that was
Yeah. The third one it wasn't. It was kind of a prequel of sorts.
well, I hate
Yeah,
prequels.
what I know. What's her name? The gal who plays the medium, she's the one actually connecting all four of the things.
That's right.
Because they've got a fourth one coming out.
Of course they do. Why not?
It actually looks pretty good. I will say the trailer kind of blew me away. I was like, okay. I was like, all right. I expected this to be, a huge eye roll, but I was thoroughly impressed.
All right, I'll have to check that out then.
Yeah,
the trailer
doesn't
at
guarantee
least.
anything. It's the trailer, you know what I mean? But yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Cool.
So,
All right. Well, I
yeah.
guess my turn. Then I'll end it out here. All right. So again, as far as Halloween movies, certainly Hocus Pocus and The Nightmare Before Christmas. I don't know if there's really like a third one necessarily.
Halloweentown, just saying.
Halloweentown?
Just admit it, Tim.
No.
Tried to play coy and dumb earlier, but
Oh, Halloweentown? Never heard of it. But as far as like scary or horror movies, definitely not to jump on your guys' lists here, but The Conjuring for sure is just one. That one's just so creepy, and it just hints on or just again, it's like The Witch, where it. Well, I know it's based on an actual case or I guess actual events, if they're to be believed, and just but some like The Witch and The Conjuring are just like in the newer vein of horror movies, like you were talking about, Zach, about that. Just really, I think, get to the raw primal fear of that humans have, and it just, I can still be like scared and kind of like whoa about like and goried out by the slasher movies, and can still certainly enjoy them, but there's just something about the primal, just the like deep down, like wow, it's you're in the middle of nowhere, it's dark, and you're just scared out of your wits, kind of thing, or just something going on. Yeah, where you're left to your own devices, you're going to scare yourself no matter what's happening. And The Witch and The Conjuring certainly do that. So I'm really so The Conjuring, yeah, I'll just say The Witch too, and then I'm gonna also the going classic here, The Exorcist, always super scary, and again another one that really kind of gets at that true raw human fear, of the unknown, of demonic forces beyond our understanding and control and all that. So, and plus it just got some crazy dialogue in there, which I know it's a scary movie, you shouldn't laugh at, but I mean, to hear a little 12-year-old say some of the stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. It's fun. No.
Oh, crazy. And then
sort of some sorted.
I know I'm going for here, but I couldn't help myself.
Whoa. Hey.
I'm dropping Paranormal Activity. No, the first one. I mean, the second one was good. I never saw the third one, but
you're fine.
The first one none of the 20 sequels would have happened without the first one anyway. But yeah, just again, the film, that's a horror movie or scary movie, just that hinges on that, like the unknown, just the sheets being pulled away, or the pots and pans falling down out of nowhere. Just super creepy, super fun. Love to watch it, and you're just like, ooh, you get really scared, and it's fun to watch that movie too,
It just didn't take much too. Yeah, man.
Exactly.
It just, because I feel like they just recaptured the flame that the Blair Witch had.
Well, the Blair Witch Project was a terrible movie.
Oh, you don't like Blair Witch, huh?
No, it's terrible. So overrated.
But
Not.
I know.
Tim's
Yeah.
Top 3 Paranormal.
Found footage, man. It gets a bad rap, but I don't know.
Hey, like anything else,
I like it.
It's all in the execution. It's done well.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. So, all right. Well, yeah, that's the Gallen 3 top horror / Halloween movies. But you listeners, feel free to drop us a line in the comments on YouTube. Give us a shout out. Let us know some of your favorite horror movies or favorite Halloween movies, or anything that we might have missed. Or if you want to just argue with us, that's fine too. But when we get
Bring it on.
but when we come back for our final segment, we'll talk about just some things that we just love about Halloween, some favorite memories, stuff that we always enjoy about the season, or whatever else comes to mind. So yeah, join us. Come on back. Oh yeah, we're back. You're listening to the Gallen Brothers podcast, where we talk about movies and pop culture and other stuff. Today
other stuff.
This pretty much covers everything else that may randomly pop into the podcast. But today we've been discussing Halloween movies and Halloween films and just Halloween stuff with Halloween coming up. Halloween. And right now, before we go, we want to take a couple minutes just to share some of our favorite Halloween memories and Halloween stuff, things that we love about the season, or that get us excited whenever the 1st of October rolls around. So, Steve, how about you start us out? What's kind of a favorite Halloween memory that maybe comes to mind, or that always think about, as you guys as Halloween approaches?
Mm-hmm. Well, I would have to go back to trick-or-treating as a kid.
Go back. All the way back.
Way back.
Way back, boys.
That's another episode.
Oh, God. Yep.
Anyway, yeah, so one of my favorite costumes it was when I don't know, 9 or 10, I suppose, and I went as a cell phone.
A cell phone?
Yes. And
I
this
think
was
I
still
remember
back,
this. I think I remember this.
still back in the day when cell phones weren't too prevalent, I suppose, or weren't. Apparently they weren't recognizable enough as a costume because almost every door I went to, trick or treat, and they're like, "Oh, what are you? A pager?" I'm like,
A pager?
a pager. Come on.
See these numbers? I'm a calculator.
Idiot. Yeah.
I mean,
I think I got that too. I think I got calculator as well.
So
yeah.
calculator at least makes more
right
sense
along the
than
Yeah.
a pager.
that's funny.
But like, yeah.
Although the orientation of the numbers completely different on a calculator than a phone,
True.
which I've always wondered about that. I don't know where that comes from. Like on a calculator where it starts at the bottom left, 1, 2, 3, and then goes up from left to right, whereas on the phone it starts at the top left, 1, 2, 3, goes to the right. Never mind.
I think it's to keep the 0 associated with the 1. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Because isn't 0 down there? I don't know.
Sure. Yeah, it's the big one, isn't it? I don't know.
I don't know. I wasn't I wasn't a calculator or a pager. I was a cell phone.
Or a
But
cell
people just didn't get it. I was ahead of the curve on that one. So
Yes, so.
Yeah, man.
yeah.
Did you get a lot of candy though, regardless?
Yes, I think I did. I'm sure I did.
That's all that matters.
Because I just looked at him like, you need to give me more candy for getting my costume
Insulting
wrong.
me. Yeah.
Insulting my costume.
You've insulted me.
You've insulted me.
You gotta give
More
me
candy, please.
More treat, please.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
More Ovaltine, please.
I guess you could say you were roaming all night. Right?
Aw.
I wrote that one last week, guys.
We've been waiting a long time to use that one. It's a good joke. I wonder when I'll have a chance to use it.
No, wait a minute, Steven's like, cell phone, Halloween, trick or treat,
Perfect.
bingo.
Been waiting
Uh,
15
Zach,
years.
what about well, Steve? What about any other Halloween memories? Is that the only one you ever had?
That's the only
one you have.
that's the only one in my brain. So I'm gonna go with that one.
Wow.
Wow,
Whoa.
20-some years of Halloweens, and that's the only one.
That's all I got. Yeah.
The cell phone, man, yeah.
Call me on your cell phone.
Oh, Drake.
All right, Zach. What about you? What any favorite Halloween memory or fun costume or anything that comes to mind from when we were growing up?
Well, I think one of my favorite costumes was I was Hugh Hefner one year for Halloween.
I think I remember that. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I wore a robe and
And a bubble pipe.
sprayed my hair with kind of I had a pipe as well.
With the bubbles.
And bubbles. Yeah, like in Wayne's World too.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah, and then I had like Barbie dolls in my pocket. They were
That's right. Yeah.
Your playmates, your buddies.
My bunnies. Yeah. No, that one was fun. I did like that quite a bit.
Did you get what kind of reactions did you get? Were people like, "Are you a pager?"
Yeah. Who are you supposed to be? Bill Clinton? I'm like, no.
Ew.
Yeah. No, I most of the people were either kind of like I think I got a few reactions where people were like, I was like, "Do you know who I am?" And they're like, well, where they almost were afraid to say it, and I'm like, "No, you can say it because it was right. That's what it was."
How old are you?
Say my name.
I was,
Say my name.
You're goddamn right. Yeah. It was I was 13, 14. I think it was 7th or 8th grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny. That reminds me of the trip when we went to Disneyland.
I wore a Playboy hat then. Yep.
You had your hat, and then
the genie, right? Not Goofy, but the genie.
The genie from Aladdin wasn't having it when we were taking our family picture, and he
it just had the Playboy bunny. It had the bunny on the front. It was a black hat with a white stitched bunny on the front, and then Playboy stitched in the back. He picked up my hat before the photo and turned it around on my head, flipped it backwards. Joke's on him. It still said Playboy.
Heyo.
Mm-hmm. That's right, genie. Work your magic.
Silly genie.
Yeah. Tricks are for kids.
Yes. Very funny.
Yep.
Well, for me, nothing. A couple things actually stick out. I just, especially my costumes. I was pretty much. I went as growing up for Halloween. My string of costumes that were pretty much a run of all the popular culture of the 80s and 90s kid. Like I was Optimus Prime from Transformers one year, and I was Ninja Turtles probably once or twice. And then, it was even the genie from Aladdin. We were just talking about the genie. Yeah, that was a pretty, I'm sure I thought that was pretty awesome at the time, but like I think back on it, I'm like, man, I wore that thing. It was like this weird
like
stuff.
Muscly.
Muscle stuffed costume.
Oh, yeah.
And it had the mask and
right.
And these like the dopey pointed up shoes that had to wear over
like
my
twist,
shoes.
the toad,
the toad. Oh God, ridiculous.
I don't know. It's probably pretty cool.
And I think the gloves only had like 4 fingers.
4 fingers.
4-finger gloves. So crazy.
Yeah. I think you know what, Tim? We were all we were M&Ms at one point.
Oh God, yeah.
Or 2 points or 3 points. I think it depended on how lazy we were.
Our mom made everybody, us and our sister, these M&M costumes that you just
M&M costumes.
It was like having 2 pillows hanging around on your front
with straps over your shoulder. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
It. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
Not much to them, but yeah.
But they lasted.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Good costume.
We probably got questions about that too. What are you supposed to be, a Skittle?
Oh.
Look at the M, bitch.
Look at the M, idiot. Yeah. Reese's. Yeah, Reese's.
Oh, funny. So, well, Steve, going back to you then, what? Not necessarily memory, but what about? Is there anything about like Halloween that you look forward to every year? Like when Halloween comes around, you're like, oh man, I can get this, or I'm excited to do this or watch that, or just something that's Halloween related that only maybe happens this time of year or this season.
Yeah, I think decorating is always fun. Just the fun.
This is Halloween.
The pumpkins and the ghosts and the. I think that I enjoy that quite a bit. And so growing up, I helped our mom out with, putting up decorations and stuff. And then I do it now with my wife and still enjoy doing that. So that's pretty fun.
Really? You just help mom do decorations?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Where were you?
I'm clearly not helping mom do decorations.
Clearly not.
Elsewhere.
Yeah. But, yes, I did, and now I do it with my wife, and so I enjoy decorating and doing all that fun stuff.
Well, now you're in a place where you're actually gonna get trick or treaters.
Yes, we've been living in apartments, but now we're in a house that will probably have trick or treaters. So
Whoa!
can't eat all the
Trick or treat.
Candy, exactly.
You could eat all the good stuff and then
Right.
leave all the.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. What would
Here are
you?
the Mounds bars.
Here's the
Sorry to all you listeners that
The Tootsie Rolls.
Tootsie Rolls. You don't
Oh,
like Tootsie
dude.
Rolls?
Keep the Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah, that's it's like the worst best
I'll
chocolate
eat
in the
Tootsie
planet.
Rolls, but I mean, depending on what else there is, they're the last things I'll eat. You know what I'm saying?
So what you're saying is there's shit.
Well, they look
But
like
it-
little, they
you
look
know,
like little
They
turds.
do look like turds. Steve and I used to eat those when we would play
Little
like
turds?
No, not the little turds. Never used to do that. That I recall. No, we used to eat the
That's good.
Tootsie Rolls as like faux tobacco, like chewing tobacco whenever we'd play like wiffle ball and stuff.
Oh, funny.
Yeah. Like pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right in the spittoon.
Big Chief. The best.
Ah, yes.
Sandlot.
That's why they have Big League Chew, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
No, but the Tootsie Roll, it's like looks like tobacco.
Yeah.
Gotta be authentic. But
I guess I'll take your word for it. What about you, Zach? What's a thing about Halloween that or the Halloween season that you always look forward to?
Well, Halloween's about like 50 days
Ish,
away
yeah,
from Christmas.
give or take.
So that's exciting.
That's what you look forward.
Yeah, I don't know.
Forward to Halloween
Yeah,
because
I'm
it's
not
so
huge-
close to
closer to-
Christmas.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Halloween fan. I don't know. It's fine. I don't know anything against it, but I'm just like, yeah, the
what did
part-
Halloween ever do to you?
You know what? Halloween doesn't like
That's
you
why.
either.
Yeah. No, I don't know. The parties are fun to go to, but yeah, I don't know. Halloween is always kind of, I don't know. Ever since kind of turning 18, it was like one of those things where I always had like grand expectations for what I was going to do for like a Halloween costume, and then
Sure.
Halloween came and went, and I was like, well, I didn't do that. And then I think it
And you're
was,
like, well, it's Christmas, so
well, it's always like November, Christmas, like no, probably November through February that I think of like an amazing costume idea. Also, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be awesome, and then naturally I forget it come October, or I don't care,
well, once you go as Hugh Hefner at the age of 14, what else is there?
You've eclipsed all Halloween ideas.
That's peak Halloween right there.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, for me, the one big thing that I love about Halloween, other than gobs of candy all around, like at work and stuff, is my favorite cereal hits the shelves for 1 month only out of the year.
Booberry?
No, Count Chocula, my friend. Although I got nothing against the Blueberry or the Frankenberry.
Frankenberry.
Wait a minute.
Blueberry
They just stole the berries. That's kind of lame.
Blueberry is blueberry,
Ghost
blueberry, and then Frankenberry is more like strawberry, raspberry. Come on, don't you know your monster cereals?
They're both berries, though. Why didn't they do like a Franken crisp or something? Would have been great.
Yeah.
Well, then I think
got
there's a different one now too. Like there's a goat. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm not as well versed.
Oh, I thought you said that. Yeah, you bragged about
In
the
the
monster
monster
cereal. Yeah.
I'm just down with the count. All right, Chocula. It's a bunch of bowl of chocolate, bowl of sugar. It's what else do you want, really? I haven't gotten any yet this year though. I need to run to Target and pick up a box.
Hurry up, because Christmas stuff's already out.
Well, Christmas stuff's been up since like Labor Day, hasn't it?
Right, that's true.
July.
It's July. Christmas in July, yes. But yeah, so monster cereal. That's my favorite. Count Chocula. It's the best thing about Halloween
Greatest thing about Halloween.
is the cereal I can only get this month. Yes. Also, actually, Oktoberfest beers.
Oh yeah.
That's not specifically Halloween related,
Halloween,
but
but-
tis the season.
Tis the season.
And pumpkin beer, pumpkin
Right.
flavored beer.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Of all,
I
the
do like pumpkin.
of all the pumpkin things, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Just
now that you
pumpkin
bring it up,
beers.
my wife makes really great pumpkin pie. Ooh.
You know, I'm not much of a pie guy.
Oh, dude, pecan pie is my favorite, but
I know it.
that's neither here nor
I
there.
like cake. There's not really Halloween cake, though.
No.
Well,
Unless you have a cake in the shape of Halloween. But what does Halloween look like?
a jack-o'-lantern, I guess.
It looks like a cell phone costume.
Yeah. What you mean, a
pager?
calculator or pager? Yeah.
What are you, a calculator? What are you, a nerd? Oh, funny.
What are you, an uninformed parent?
Come on.
Yeah.
Just give me more candy. All right, well, I think that about does it for us today.
I think that does it.
Talk the shit out of Halloween.
We talked the shit out of Halloween. Yes. All right. Well, yes. If you have any comments or just random questions or wondering why you spent the last hour listening to us, leave us a comment.
We'd like to know. Yeah.
We would love to know. That's right. Be sure to subscribe to the Gallen Brothers podcast on Apple Podcasts or catch it on our Gallen Brothers YouTube channel, and be sure to subscribe there as well. And watch our short films, including our latest 3 a.m., which is about a man who goes on a solo trip away and starts to experience strange things happening when the clock strikes 3. So be sure to check that out, as well as some of our other videos that are up there. You've been listening to the Gallen Brothers podcast. I'm Tim.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Steve.
And be sure to watch out for bears, and we'll see you next time. That was a long outro.
It's fine.